one of the things that I really want to get in the habit of doing is vlogging my experiences and my journey towards racial reconciliation. And one of the things that I want to share with you today is a conversation that took place last night. So there was a gathering of mostly black and white people, and there was a conversation that was had in regards to racial justice. And we happened to have a speaker there who was a black male who told about his experiences as a black male in America. And it was amazing. I just was really taken aback of how boldly he told his story, and that was something that I want to be able to do. So after he told his story, he opened up the floor for others to ask him questions, and I happened to ask him a question. And the question that I asked him is, how do you continue to tell your story over and over and over again? I gave him a little bit of background in regards to myself, and I was just very candid and frank with him. Oftentimes I feel tired with telling my story, telling how it feels to be a black woman. I feel like I have to tell my story on my job, with new friends, even at colleges, even in just small intimate settings. I feel like I always have to explain my blackness and my struggle. And oftentimes I may say things such as I don't always feel welcome in my own country. And I do feel that at times. I do feel that I feel like a second-class citizen, which I know is not necessarily true. But then a black person, for me, those are things that are a part of my story. It may be different than other black people's stories, but I can only speak from my experiences. And there are times when I do feel as if people don't understand my struggle, and people feel that since it is 2019 and since there was a civil rights movement, that there are not still some of the same stereotypes and prejudices, even though it's 2019. So it gets hard telling your story at times, and sometimes my story doesn't go as deep as me feeling like a second-class citizen in America. It's sometimes just explaining my hair texture, and I'm just like, I'm so tired of doing this. But the biggest thing that I said to him, just to get back to the question, was, can you please give me advice as a black person who feels called towards racial reconciliation? What advice can you give me to just stay sane, to have peace, to love my brothers and sisters in Christ who may not always understand the things that I go through? So one of the things that he stated was, it was really, really important for you to have people alongside you, to have community, to walk with you during this. He also stated that it's important to recognize that if God has called you towards racial reconciliation, that he's going to prepare you for it, that he's going to put the right people alongside you, and that you're equipped for it. And one of the things that I took from it is just continuing to remain humble. Oftentimes I feel that coming into these settings, I'm usually on the defense, where I have to teach, and not always feeling as if there's something that I need to receive, or that I can learn. So what I want to do, which he pointed out, was that it's always important for us to hear one another's stories. No one's story is greater than the other. No one is here just to teach, but we can all learn from one another. And it's so important for us to listen. Listen. All of our stories are important. Our stories may sound very different from one another, but it's important. And if anything from this video, I just want us to remember that the enemy that we're fighting is not our brothers and sisters in Christ. Yeah, this is one of the things that he brought up that I forgot. So when we feel or we see racism and we hear racism, or when we are the actual object of racism, we have to remember that we are not fighting against flesh and blood. That is not our brothers and sisters that we are fighting against, but it is the enemy. And that's so important, because we can easily point the finger at our brothers and sisters in Christ and say that it's their fault that I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. But it's so important for us to remain in prayer. It's so important for us to read our word and to remember that we are fighting against these forces. We are fighting a spiritual fight. It's a spiritual warfare. So if anything that you get from this video is really the importance of us hearing one another's stories. It's important for us to listen to one another and to remember that our brothers and sisters in Christ are not the enemy, but that we have to fight the true enemy, which is the devil. So nonetheless, I'm going to keep pressing. I know the Lord has called me towards what he wants me to do, which is racial reconciliation. And I would love for other people to come alongside me during this journey. And more than anything, guys, keep me in prayer. And I am just really excited about what the Lord is doing here in Cincinnati, because there's so many other people that I know who are down for it. So anyways, there will be many more vlogs. This one was really short, but I hope you guys stay tuned. And again, continue to pray for me. I love you all. Peace.